Well, hello, 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 hello. This is Coach Charmaine with me and my Sisterlock journey. I'm so glad that you could take a few moments and be with me today. I haven't been on for a while because I haven't felt inspired. It's not like I have like a list of things to talk about. And really, I think I had ran out of topics for Sisterlocks, but I think this is for anyone who is thinking about getting sister locks or who has sister locks. And I love the conversation, even if it is a different opinion than what I have. I still love the conversation. I love to hear what people are saying. I had made a sister lock video some time ago about using castor oil soap as a shampoo, and my scalp was itching, and I don't think I was diluting it either with water. But somebody came on and said, "Listen, you can't use castor oil soap, and it's going to cause your scalp to itch." So in this journey of trying things, of exploring things, of talking to different people, these conversations are so helpful because what I find is there are people out there who've had experiences like mine, and they're able to share and they're able to really just talk about the Sister Lock experience. And so today, what I'll be talking about is reties. And I already talked about price gouging. I already talked about all of these new implementations of pricing and things like that. And some people are paying as much as 300, 400, maybe more, for a retie. And there's people are really intrigued that people can get their hair done within a couple of hours. That's a big thing. I want to get my hair done in a couple of hours. I want to make sure, I can wear these luscious, beautiful locks and still have my hair done in a couple of hours. So a lot of people are dealing with them. Just want to put a little bit more light on the subject. And so, I've had some really interesting experiences since my journey, November of 2021. I'll be 4 years old in November of 2025. So I'm really excited about that. And since the last time I've been on, my hair has really taken off. It's really flourished. Um, I don't believe in sister lock loyalty. I do believe in walking away with an experience and paying for an experience. And sometimes if you don't have that, at least with me, I need to have an experience. And I've had some experiences and I pay for them too. But I'm gonna just take my glasses off so that you can see my hair better. The top part of my hair grows very, very slowly. So over the 4 years, I've had a lot of breakage, like everybody has around the perimeter of the hair, especially in the front. And I don't want to say a lot because that wouldn't be true, but there's been some thinning, and of course, where there's thinning, there's breaking, and a few locks have been combined, to maintain the integrity of the existing locks. So, you guys already know all this stuff. You've already done all this stuff. You've already been there. But now my hair is long enough for me to do like this if I want to. Still not there. But listen, I am 61. And so I'm just grateful my hair is growing at all. But the real topic of this conversation is not about everything I've talked about up until this point. The real topic of this conversation is about reties. Not about cost, because we've already done that, but about integrity, the integrity of the retie. And I think because of my journey and because of the people I've talked to and the people I've worked with, I've learned a lot of things. And here's another thing too. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to let this grow because I don't know. It just seems like uh, the shorter hair, I liked it better. I don't know. But we can talk about that at a later date. Sometimes you just want to see it grow to see how long it can actually grow. And yes, I am experiencing some thinning at the top, but you really can't see now because I'm into my 5th week, going into my 6th week. And that's what I'm excited about, that I have my locticians, my latest loctician, who we fought like cats and dogs, but I love her to death, um, said let's try 6 weeks and see how that goes. And so 6 weeks for me will be June 7th, 2025, and I am flourishing. My hair is not knotted. It's not tied. It's not married together at the root. The hair is doing great. It's doing great. I'm constantly going in, just playing with it, and but the hair is doing great. And for some reason or another, it hangs longer on this side than it does on this side. So I don't know what the deal is, but I don't know if it's the way my head is shaped. Somebody knows. But this is what I found the difference to be between being able to go 6 weeks and maybe even longer. I don't know. We haven't tried it. We haven't explored it. I know it's not recommended. Certain types of hair, certain hair types, really have to go every 4 weeks or 5 weeks or 6 weeks. But it's, your locticians in your hair. Those are the suggestions you wanna go by. And if you don't feel comfortable with those suggestions, then do your own thing. See what happens. Experiment. You don't like it, find another loctician. Go back to the same one. But here's the thing: it's your hair. Do what you want to do. Now this is June too. I also made a statement that I would probably be doing my own hair by now. I've come to the realization that that's not what I want to do. I don't want to do my own hair. There's a big learning curve with how you're gonna do your, all that. I don't feel like doing that. So as long as I can afford to continue to get my hair done by someone else, I will do that. But I want to say this too. Even though I haven't stayed with my locticians in the past, some of the ones I have met, I do appreciate the experiences that I've had with them because they've been learning experiences, and it's all a part of my journey. And so I don't take any of them lightly, and I've learned something valuable from every one of them. I've been critical of them as well in terms of just how they do things and their techniques and things like that. And it's my own opinion, it's my experience. It doesn't mean that I think they're bad people or even that I think they're bad locticians. I just, for me, it has not worked out. But the experience, just knowing them, meeting them, having them in my hair has been absolutely wonderful. So let me go on. So what have I discovered as of late? I've been seeing this loctician regularly this year. Like, she's been the only person I've seen this year. Last year I started with her, I think it was September or October 2024, and she had such an abrasive personality, and that I was like, no, you ain't the one. But I didn't know, so I went with her, and then I stopped. But then I realized that my hair, after, as it was growing in, it was different. It was something different about it, right? Because I went with her for a couple of months, and then I went to someone else, and I just observed the way my hair was growing in. And with, her name is Diamond, and she's on the Sisterlocks registry. With Diamond, my hair was growing in, for lack of a better way of putting it, and not having all the professional blah 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 words, Sisterlocks words. It was growing in, and it was growing in not weak. I didn't have my hair hanging on strands. Now, like, this is 5 weeks. I have seen times I've waited 5 weeks and my hair was literally hanging on strands, but I haven't had that experience this time. And every one of my strands or every one of my locks, I can feel a root with integrity. And so when I went, I saw Diamond for 2 months, 2 reties. And then again, we was like this, oil and water. We was like, we wasn't clicking at all. And so I went to someone else, and I think she shaved maybe an hour off the time. Because I was with Diamond, and with everybody really I've had, it's been like 5 hours. I mean, that's kind of been the story of my life. And all those who get their hair done in less than that amount of time, I am a little skeptical about what's happening to your hair. But that's my opinion. I ain't got to be right. And then here's another thing that's very important too, and that is what type of hair you have. Some people, I think, have the kind of hair that you can do almost anything to it and it's still going to maintain integrity. It's not thin. It's thick. It's healthy. You got a lot of follicles in the squares, the way it was explained to me. And it's always going to be looking wonderful. But some people like me who has thin hair, whose follicles, the amount of follicles I have in each one of these squares when I was first started can vary from very, very small amount of follicles to a normal amount of follicles. I don't think I have a whole lot of follicles in none of my squares. And this is the way it was explained to me. And I paid a lot of attention to how it was explained to me and my hair, which is very important. You know, this whole, look, I got the light on me now, girls. This is it. But so what have I discovered? I have discovered that the grid is important. Every loctician I've had, except Diamond, has told me, don't worry about the grid. The grid is not important. When I think of Dr. Cornwell, this was a scientific process. She didn't just wake up one morning and say, oh, let's just create this hairstyle so that women will be able to start growing hair. No, she didn't do that. This was a scientific process that she went through to experiment and learn about how Sisterlocks should be done. And I'm so keen on Dr. Cornwell now. I wasn't always, but I am now because I've been studying and observing my own hair process. No one else's, my own hair process. And what I realize now, what I've discovered, there was a lot, I think one of my videos I talked about how I felt like if the tool wasn't going through the middle of the hair, like when they pull that hair and they go to do what they do at the root, if it's not going through the middle, it's going through the side, if it's going through a couple strands, and it's not going through the middle here, and it's not going through the middle here, and it's not going through the middle here, how is it going to grow with integrity? So that was one of my own discoveries. But since then, I've learned that the grid is mucho important. And if you are struggling with your hair, in my opinion, and if your hair is already thin, like mine is, I know it doesn't look it, but it is. If it's already thin, like mine is, and you're struggling with your hair, and your loctician is telling you, don't worry about the grid, your sister loctician. I ain't talking about your micro lock. I ain't talking about none of these other folks. I'm talking about your sister loctician. If she's telling you, don't worry about the grid, then she's telling you something wrong. And you are getting a disservice. Because the grid is mucho important. And this is what I found in my experience, that the grid is mucho important. I'm going to say it one more time. The Sisterlocks grid is mucho important. And if you are seeing someone that's telling you, don't worry about the grid, then you have a problem. Because the grid is mucho important. And this is my experience. I'm also using, I'll tell you about this rinse I'm using, this washing shampoo rinse, but I'll tell you about that in another video. This woman, Diamond L. Cooper, she's on the registry. Here's another thing. A lot of our locticians have decided that they don't need to be on the registry. They don't want to be on the registry anymore. They don't want to pay the registry fee or whatever. They don't want to take the extra CCE credits. They don't want to do it. And so if you got Sisterlocks, I would say unequivocally, you shouldn't be seeing nobody that's not on the registry. That's number one. If they're not on the registry, you shouldn't be seeing them. And the other thing is, if they're saying that they don't have to worry about the grid, you shouldn't be seeing them. Because this Sisterlocks that we have, the foundation of what we have is based on that grid. And if you ignore that grid, then your hair is not growing. If you got, like I said, if you got thick hair or you got a lot of follicles in your hair, hey, listen, maybe you don't need to worry about the grid. I mean, maybe the grid ain't nothing to you because you got so many follicles in your hair ain't gonna pop like that. But for those of us who are fine and thin in hair, the grid is what? Mucho important. Because I'll tell you what I've discovered. And the reason why I'm saying this is Diamond L. Cooper, she reparts your hair every time she does it. This is why when you come to her the first time, she reparts it to make sure your grid is intact. I love this. I love this about this loctician, this woman. And every time she does it, because she's the one taking care of your hair, you know, it's easier and easier for her to do your hair and follow the grid. Now, why is the grid mucho important? Because of what we discussed earlier. There are a certain amount of follicles in that square. I wish I had brought a like a head. There's a certain amount of follicles in that square. And if you are pulling hair, like I've seen so many people do in their demonstration, they'll just take some hair, they'll take it and they'll pull it. They're not parting it. They're not making sure your grid stays intact. They're just doing their thing. But if you're just pulling hair like that, are you pulling hair out of the left square, the right square, the top square above it, the bottom square below it? And if you're pulling hair out of that square, are you weakening the square around it? That's what I want you to think about. Are the squares being weakened around the square that they're just pulling hair from? You know, every time that Diamond does my hair, I can see my grid. And what I found is when the loctician, and no one else had done it before her, had not followed the grid, my hair did not grow in with integrity. Now, you got to remember, I'm 61 years old. I only got so much hair. And traditionally, in my family, people don't have hair. At this age, they don't have hair. So I'm blessed and highly favored to have all this hair on my head. Thank you, JoAnne Cornwell. Cornwell. Thank you, Jesus. Let me back that up. Thank you, Jesus. And then thank you, JoAnne Cornwell. I'm just trying to tell you. I got a whole lot of hair on my head that I would not have if it wasn't for this experience. Holla. Hey. And so, with that being said, this is why I pay the strictest attention to everything that's happening to my hair. I pay the strictest attention. And I would advise you to do the same. And I was so frustrated with the process that I was ready to do my own. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm still thinking about taking the class. Yes, I am. Because of the money that can be made. But you gotta, and this lady who's doing my hair, Diamond L. Cooper, she is the bomb. Diggity right now. Again, I don't have lock integrity. I don't have sister lock integrity. It's gonna work as long as it works. And when it stop working, it stop working. That's how I am. Boom. But what I do now is I've been using this rinse, wash my hair. So sometimes I'll call a natural hair salon and say, hey, can you wash my hair and put this hair rinse in for me? So that's an extra expense that I'm willing to, deal with. And so one young lady, she works at the natural hair care salon. And so when I went to go get my hair washed this one time, she said, I do Sisterlocks. I said, okay. And I watched her. First of all, she ain't had a tool. She didn't have a Sisterlock tool. So anybody who's getting Sisterlocks and their loctician is not using the Sisterlock tool, I got a problem with you. Okay? You need to be using that tool, not that crochet needle. You need to be using that Sisterlock tool. You need to be following that grid. Okay? But they don't do it because it takes time. It takes time. It takes time to follow the grid. And that's why people aren't doing it. And what I say to you is, look at the integrity of your hair. If you have fine and thinning hair, like me, and ask yourself, is my hair okay? Ask your hair, are we okay? And if not, find somebody that's following the grid. Find somebody that's using the Sisterlocks tool. I don't even like that crochet needle. It just, I don't know. I don't like it. And the reason why JoAnne Cornwell developed the tool that she did is because it's not too hard on your hair. It's not a lot of pulling, because all they're doing is sticking it in a little bit, right? Like at the tip, and they're pulling your hair through. So it's not like they're going all the way in and, pulling your hair out with this crochet needle. So all I'm saying to you guys is, I'm going to say it again. The grid is what? Mucho important. The Sisterlocks tool is mucho important. Don't be so quick to find a loctician who could do your hair in 2 hours. Don't be so quick to find that person. Be quick to find somebody who understands. First of all, they're on the registry, and they understand that the grid is mucho important. They understand that the Sisterlocks tool is mucho important, and that JoAnne Cornwell did not develop this process in a closet. You can say what you want to say about JoAnne Cornwell. You can say what you want to say about Sisterlocks. You can say what you want to say about all of these things. I have explored all of these options, knotted locks. I've explored them. Guess what? This is a scientific method that has been developed by JoAnne Cornwell for us. And it needs to be followed. Now, again, they definitely need help with customer service and marketing. Absolutely. Because, I'm not going to go into that. That's another video. But in terms of the process, this is a process that I'm glad that I found, and I'm glad that I discovered. I'm glad that I didn't let anybody tell me that the grid wasn't important. I'm glad that I didn't let anybody tell me that the Sisterlocks tool wasn't important. Well, actually, I did let people tell me. But through trial and error and through experience with these people who told me that, I realized that they were wrong. They were wrong. They were wrong. They were wrong. Wrong. They were wrong. The Sisterlocks grid is what? Mucho important. The tool is mucho important. Not, can I get my hair done in 2 hours? If that's what you want, right? Now, if your loctician can follow the grid and use a tool and get it done in 2 hours, all praises be to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Okay, but if the way you're searching for a loctician is how fast you can get your hair done, you're gonna get some mess. You're gonna have to take your time. You're gonna have to sit down. You're gonna have to, however long it takes. Bring your stuff, because guess what? The investment that I've made into this hairstyle has gone into the thousands. It's going into the thousands. It's going into the thousands. And guess what? This latest loctician got me looking good. I mean, I'm looking so good that I just want to buy some gifts for her. I mean, I'm like, my heart is like, I don't want to give her no more money. No. Okay, let's be for real. I'm not trying to give her no more money. But I am trying to buy some gifts for her because she means a lot to me. And not only that, because I do marketing and because I do, all kinds of stuff like that, I have been able to help her, have more of an internet presence. So you'll be able to find her if you're in this area. Diamond L. Cooper. She is the bomb diggity. Now, I'm not going to tell you what I pay. You know how this goes. You know what's going on now in the Sisterlocks community. You have to talk to her, discuss with her, and you may even have to, whatever, with her. But I'm going to tell you something. If you don't have a loctician that's following the grid, I know I've heard many people say from the beginning of me looking at all these videos, oh, the grid ain't that important. No, don't worry about the grid. The grid has got to be important, y'all. It has to be important. If I got 20 follicles in this square, and I got 30 in the next square, and you're taking some of the some of the ones from the, from the 30 into the 20, and then wait a minute, maybe taking some of the 20 into one where I got only 10. What do you think is going to happen to that lock over time? I am going on 6 weeks and I don't feel scared. I don't feel shaky. I don't feel like, oh, my hair's going to fall out. I gotta run to find me a loctician or get back to my loctician. Oh, my loctician is not available. Oh my God. She's booked. Oh my God. She's sick. Oh my God. I don't have none of that. And so I'm mucho excited. And listen, let's have a conversation. Let's all of us get on. Let's all of us get on YouTube. Let's do a YouTube party and talk about some of these things that I've been talking about, because they're important. They're people who are starting their journey. They need to know what I'm saying. You need to know what I'm saying. I have been on this journey for 4 years, and I have not been with the same loctician. I do not have loctician integrity. Loyalty. I do have loctician integrity. I don't have loctician loyalty. I'm going to who I think is going to do what I want them to do. And I want my hair to look like I want it to look. And yeah, we're going to have a discussion. It's not going to be you just doing my hair. We're going to have a discussion. And when you're ready to combine some locks, I want to know what you're doing. I want to know why you're doing it. Because you're not going to just be combining them for convenience. You're going to combine them because you see that there's an issue and they need to be combined. See what I'm saying? I started out with 400 locks. I don't know how many I have now. I don't know. But whatever amount I got, I'm happy with it. I am. And maybe one day I'll count them. But I'm happy with it. And some have been combined. But I'm happy with it. And so you'll be happy with your hairstyle. I got friends who are suffering because of scalp issues and things like that. And they don't know if it's the tools, if the tools are clean. They don't know if they haven't followed the grid. They don't know. But I have been paying the strictest attention to my hair and how it's done, who's doing it, what I'm hearing in my ear, what they're saying to me about my hair. I've been paying the strictest attention, watching videos and things like that, listening, watching demonstrations. I went through the knotted lock process, and I've been paying the strictest attention. And I'm here to tell you, the grid is important. And maybe if you're struggling with your hair, it might be because you're not following your grid, especially if you're doing it on your own. Or if somebody's doing it for you. It might be because you're not following the grid. It also might be because you're using a tool that is more abrasive and not as friendly as the Sisterlocks Tool. So with that being said, I'm out. Thank you for listening, as always. And I want to hear your comments. And if the video was too long, please let me know, because I could always shorten it. But that's my story. I'm sticking to it. See you soon. Talk to you whenever. Let me know about your experience. Make some videos, y'all. Because it's still, the Sisterlock world is still popping. It's still opportunity. People are still getting Sisterlocks, and every time they see our beautiful hair, they want, oh, what's that? What is that? I'll tell you what that is. That is beautiful hair. I'm 61. And that's beautiful hair that I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have no hair on my head hardly right now. And yes, I struggle with the crown. We struggle with the crown. I see a lot of sisters struggling with the crown. And this little piece back here, struggling with that too. But guess what, honey? What you think? What you think? What you think? What you think? So I gotta go. Love y'all. I pray that you be blessed. I pray that your hair is everything you want it to be, because our hair isn't right. It's like, the Bible says our hair is our glory. And up until this time in my life where I have had Sisterlocks, I used to think, but I don't have no hair. How can my hair be my glory if I don't have no hair? I don't have no hair like the Indian people. I don't have no hair like the European people. My hair don't grow like that. My hair is short. But it really doesn't have to do with length. It just has to do with the fact that you have hair, if you have hair. And it doesn't mean that you don't have glory if you don't have hair. But it was just trying to make a point. But I'm just so glad that I switched to Sisterlocks when I did, because I think I know I wouldn't have any hair right now. You know, I don't use a lot of oil. It all depends. You know, maybe that's a whole nother conversation. I don't want to get into it because I'm gonna be here another 10 to 15 minutes. But I gotta go. Okay, for real now. I'm leaving y'all. Okay, you want to talk more? Call me. I'm listed. Go to my website, charmaineashby.com. Take care. Love y'all. Bye.